Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe they told me that I would never make it? Now we smiling in their faces, smiling in their faces.
All right, y'all, we gonna get straight into it, man. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe for Tyler Rose TV. So LeBron James, fresh off the press, he had an interview with Dave McMenamin or whatever the dude's last name is with ESPN, and he feels like this whole GOAT debate, he's always getting the shit end of the deal. So if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna run the clip. You're gonna get into my commentary. Don't want to miss what I gotta say because I'm gonna break this down pretty well as well. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe. Let's get into this video, guys.
Our David Meneman posted an article to ESPN.com in which LeBron James addressed the comparisons often made between him and one and only Michael Jordan. And he said this, quote, "There are a lot of things that MJ did better than I do. And I think there are some things that I do better than him. That's just how the game goes. There's a lot of things that I can say in particular. You already know how this conversation is going to be misinterpreted by people, man." And then McMenamin asks, has it been a burden as an adult, that ambition? Because now everybody brings it up. You can't escape the comparison. To which LeBron responded by saying, quote, "No, I think it's a very tiring conversation. It's barbershop talk. You can look at both of us and say that you love both of us without trying to shh on the other person. And usually it's the shh on me. But I know for sure that I've done my part in this journey. And more than anything, I hope, and I don't know, but I hope I made him proud at least wearing that number 23, end quote. Okay. So when LeBron speaks on the matter, then we have to have the discussion here, Stephen A. What are your thoughts on what LeBron had to say about himself and Michael Jordan?
I came across, and I think that it's relatively disappointing. And I want Mike Wilbon and Doggy, two historians, people that I look up to, I want to say this directly in front of them, and I'm open to the discussion. Everything that LeBron James said was right on point. When he dissected the difference between his game, Michael Jordan, how he looked at things, how he approaches the game. He looked to pass first. Michael Jordan looked to shoot first, et cetera, et cetera. All of those things are accurate. I didn't have a single syllable that he uttered until the last line when he talked about you can look at two guys without, for the purpose of shitting on somebody. But obviously it's usually somebody doing that to me. That is where the problem lies. Because what we don't talk about enough, Wilbon and Doggy, is as great as LeBron James is and how much he deserves to be celebrated, we don't talk about what he has done to hurt, not the game, but narratives associated with the game because of how he responds to it. I looked it up, Wilbon and Doggy. Do y'all know that there have been over 5,400 players in NBA history that have played in the NBA? I have LeBron James as number 2 all time. We're talking about Russell. We're talking about Kareem. We're talking about Wilt. We're talking about Kobe. We're talking about Elgin Baylor and Oscar Robertson and all these people. I have the man number 2. In his world, that's an insult. That is how he has acted with so many people along the way. But he doesn't do it directly, as you know, Wilbon, and as you should know, Doggy. Oh, no. Other people do it for him. I remember years ago when I'm sitting there joking around with Rich Paul, and I'm like, y'all act like that's an insult. Seriously, with a serious face, Rich Paul looks me in the face. It is an insult. What? That is the problem. And so what happens is they've given the impression that I'll use the word poop for FCC airwaves now. That we're pooping on players, okay? We're talking about them. What do we do to today's players that wasn't done before? I understand the advent of social media and beyond, and that everybody has a voice and everybody has a podcast and everybody got something to say. But in terms of the actual narratives, who hasn't gone through it? You tell me the player, Wilbon, you've been coaching, you've been covering the NBA for 40 years. You tell me, Doggy, Hall of Fame radio host for 40 years. You tell me what has been said.
All-time history. So for LeBron to pass Jordan, he needs a time machine to go back about 11 months when he passed him the first time. LeBron's been the best player ever since about midway point of Game 6 of last year's finals.
One trying to rob. Shut up! Before I bust a cap up in your ass. Get out of here, man.
Now, first off, who's shitting on LeBron? Bro, you go look at the media. You got Nick Wright, you got Colin Cowherd, you got Shannon Sharp, Chris Broussard, Brian Windhorst. Some of these guys made their career off buffing off LeBron James nonstop. So you going to tell me that he's always getting shitted on? How you going to tell the world you get shitted on when half of the media members are really Clutch Sports puppets? It don't make no sense. Secondly, what I really want to discuss is that it may seem that you are shitting on LeBron when you compare the Jordan's careers with LeBron's careers. But let me tell you, LeBron, like Stephen A. Smith said, does not want to be number 2.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time. That's what I felt.
He self-proclaimed himself to be the greatest player of all time. So him and Rich Paul believe you got to worship the ground, that he walks on. Now, let me tell you this. If this may sound like you're shitting on somebody when you're comparing them, but let me just run down a list of something. 10 scoring titles to 1. And everything's in favor of Michael Jordan, right? 6 rings, 0 losses, 4 and 6 in the finals. Defensive Player of the Year, none for LeBron. 5 MVPs in the league in less time, 4 MVPs for LeBron. 6 Finals MVPs, 4 Finals MVPs. 9-time All-NBA defense, 6-time All-NBA defense. Led the league in steals 3 times. LeBron never did it. Highest scoring average, I believe Jordan's was 37. So no matter how we look at it, LeBron's career is never going to be up to Jordan's career. And I'm only saying this to say it makes sound like you are shitting on somebody when somebody is that much better than you. When somebody has accomplished that much more than you, it sounds like they're taking a shot. But really, if we just comparing 2 people, we know who's coming up on top and who's coming up on the bottom. We've seen with Jordan, we've seen him beat the Pistons. We've seen Kobe beat the Spurs. We've seen, people overcome the challenges in their careers. But we haven't seen that with LeBron. And that's the whole greatness part that I feel like always is missing in LeBron's legacy. That triumphant story of going against a team that's had your number for years and you finally kick their ass and you go win your championship. We don't ever get that because he skips the steps in the process every time. And that's the whole problem with my LeBron stance and him being considered in this conversation of GOAT. No, you can't be in that conversation skipping steps. We don't duck smoke. We don't run. But if we're just comparing it, it doesn't mean you're shitting on it. If we're talking about basketball and we look at what LeBron's done and what Jordan's done, Jordan is just superior. He's done more in less time with less help in less years. And that's always going to be the name of the game. But for you to go up there or have an interview and act like people are shitting on you when half of the media is Clutch Sports puppets, bro, stop it, bro. Let's be honest with you guys. Stop it. Now, one thing I do say is LeBron did lead the league in assists, and I did some research. So every player who has ever been coached by Phil Jackson while playing in his system has never led the league in assists. So I just want to point that out there. I know Jordan did play at a time where Phil Jackson wasn't his coach, as well as like Kobe and things of that nature. But I'm just saying that triangle offense was majority of his prime, right? So he's not able to dominate the ball while you play in a triangle offense. So the reason that LeBron did lead the league in assists is because LeBron is the system that he plays in. The offense is running through him and he makes the decisions on the court. Whereas if a triangle offense, it's not the same. We're passing the ball, we're moving. So the ball doesn't stick with somebody and you're stuck with that possession, having the ball the whole possession. So ladies and gentlemen, these are my thoughts. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Do you think LeBron is constantly shitted on? Or do you think LeBron's career compared to Michael Jordan is inferior, so the point where it sounds like you're shitting on him because Jordan is just superior when it comes to career accolades, championships, winning, and doing it, of course, in less time with less talent around him. So these are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. 6-0 versus 4-6. I'm going to take 6-0 every time, and I'm also going to take more MVPs. I'm also going to take a defensive player of the year. I'm also going to get a guy who I know isn't going to run and jump ship. Also a guy who three-peated twice, which I didn't even mention. You three-peat twice. Man, listen, the only team that's done that in recent years we know is the LA Lakers. And that was with Kobe and Shaq. So this is how great Michael Jordan is. LeBron has a good career. He's a great player in his own right. And his strengths are different, But we can't just sit here and lie to the folks, bro. You can't lie to the people, bro. We can see you. We can see you. We know what's going on out here. Maybe on the YouTube world you get shitted on because independent content creators don't have a horse or dog in the fight, and they can just be real and unbiased. But when it comes to the media, we know that LeBron's winning that media battle, man. And the fact that Kobe's not even in the conversation, and we're just always talking about, it's just LeBron and Jordan, man. You didn't surpass Kobe in a lot of people's eyes. But maybe to the people that are on TV, they don't want to include that man in that conversation. So we're going to skip over him and we're just going to go Jordan, LeBron. So you know what time it is, man. It's Tyler Rose TV. New clip, fresh clip. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Peace.